I'm so happy that you're here. That's so great. So thanks for showing up. It's really lovely. And who knows else will join us and who is joining us anyway. We'll see what happens. So that's really lovely. But I'm really happy to meet you in this very still place where I actually find myself. And so I'm happy that you join in that too. That we can have a lovely experience together. And so that's the opportunity in the Miracle Work 3 class that we have. You know, it's really great to be in this class, say to prepare it too, because it's like I don't know what to share. You know, it's not coming from me because I really had no idea how to do this. But then slowly but certainly things start to fall into place. And actually where that is coming from is such a lovely place that of course I'm included, and of course you are included in that too. So it has everything to do with say the topic would be joy as the inevitable result of gentleness. But and we're going to read that and use that, absolutely. But on the other hand, it is like we got in touch with this place of joy and happiness, like a real deep sense of intimacy, if you want. Like it's a real deep place of love that you can feel, that you can experience. See, and that is really lovely to experience. But what happens sometimes is that you just lose it for a moment. It seems like you lose it. And it seems like then everything starts to fall apart into a dark world where there's hatred and there's conflict and there's this and that. So that is also part of this. You know, it is not an ideal dream, so to speak. It's not an ideal dream, far from it. And that's all right. We chose to undergo this process exactly in this place. It's not to become comfortable in this dream and sitting on a cloud and waiting in bliss for the next thing to happen or something. Like, no, this is really about active participation in the middle of the marketplace, in fact, you know, in the middle of the marketplace, whether that's in your own situation, whether that's in your own house, or whether that's literally in the marketplace. It really does not matter. But at least you're open to say, start to apply this no matter where you are, no matter what the situation appears to be. And that's why this is so unique and lovely. Like, it's an active way of transformation. It is not meditation until, you know, something happens. No, this is an active applying of the ideas that are given and see them at work for you. See that things can really change. And I think that's really great if you take that in as an idea of the characteristics of the teachers of God, or the miracle worker, or the however you want to call yourself. It's like that is what you do. So you pick up as soon as you recognize that you slide off into a fear thought or an attack thought, whatever you want to call that. Then you start to apply what you have learned, instead of getting even or say spiraling down into darkness. Now you recognize it and you stop right there. And I think that's really that's great progress for yourself, for your own experience of your true identity. So that's why I put a bit more emphasis on this today, and that's why I want to use a specific lesson too that works just perfect. You know, it's like this, just perfect. It is really useful with what I just shared with you. Applying an idea when necessary, like applying something that's really helpful for you when you feel that you're in the sliding off into an abyss of hatred or an abyss of defense, or however you experience that for yourself. But like I said, with the increased sensitivity, with the new experiences that you already have, that you get glimpses of, you see the possibility of a beautiful, harmonious connectedness. And that's why you become also so sensitive if you don't experience that. You become irritable, you become this and that. All kinds of things can happen, and that's perfectly all right in this process. So you got to apply it when it's needed. That's the great thing. And here's a great tool. So you can find it in the Urtext on page 318 in the book. And the lesson is lesson 68. And the title is Love Holds No Grievances. Love holds no grievances. So we're going to do this exercise right now just to start our housekeeping for today, or to clean our temple. So this is your little brush to brush off the grievances. And maybe you already experienced some of that. Like, oh my God, how did that happen? Or what is now occurring? Or what is going on? Of like, well, this person, can you please act normal? You're irritating me. Or who knows what your expression of that's going to be. Okay, so here we go then. Love holds no grievances. You who were created by love like itself can hold no grievances and know yourself. So those two don't go together. I will repeat that once more. So that's our motivation to apply this lesson. You who were created by love like itself, that's the lesson before, love created me like itself, can hold no grievances and know yourself. Those two absolutely don't go together. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. It is the decision to let the ego rule your mind and to condemn the body to death. Perhaps you do not yet fully realize just what holding grievances does to your awareness. It seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. It makes you believe that he is like what you think you have become. For no one can conceive of his creator as unlike himself. So it makes you believe that he, your source, God, is like what you think you have become. For no one can conceive of his creator as unlike himself. Shut off from yourself. Who remains aware of his likeness to his creator? Yourself seems to be sleep. Yourself seems to sleep, while the part of your mind that weaves illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Oh yes. For he who holds grievances denies he was created by love, and his creator has become fearful to him in his dreams of hate. Who can dream of hatred and not fear God? It is as sure that those who hold grievances will redefine God in their own image, as it is certain that God created them like himself and defined them as part of him. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt, as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will forget who they are, as it is certain that those who forgive will remember. Would you not be willing to relinquish your grievances if you believed all this were so? Perhaps you do not think that you can let all grievances go. That, however, is simple a question of motivation. Today we will try to find out how you would feel without them. If you succeed even by ever so little, there will never be a problem in motivation ever again. Begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you regard as major grievances. Some of these will be quite easy to find. Then think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those you like and even think you love. It will quickly become apparent that there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. What is that? It will become quickly apparent that there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. This has left you alone in all the universe, in your perception of yourself. So take your pencil, your highlight, and highlight this part. You'll have to read this once more when the class is over. It's like, wow. So there's, especially this sentence, of course, there's no one. It will quickly become apparent that there's no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. It's a minor one, but still. Determine now to see all these people as friends. Say to them all collectively, thinking of each one in turn as you do so, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world which protects you and loves you, and which you love in return. Okay, once more. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world which protects you and loves you, and which you love in return. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you, and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. At the end of the practice period, tell yourself, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Okay, so start at the top again. Determine how to see all these people as friends. Say to them all collectively, thinking of each one in return as you do so, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. Let's do that. Repeat once more. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. Wow. It's getting really crowded now, huh? So many enter in that needs your forgiveness, that needs your, letting your grievances go. That's what I mean. It's getting really crowded. Like so many faces that show up in and recognizing that you hold a grievance against someone, whether it's a tiny little idea or whether it's like a major grievance. Like amazing. So this is all also the invitation to a party then, because it can change. It doesn't have to stay like this. So we let go of it because we want to know ourselves, that we love to feel that we know ourselves. So now in the second part of the class, second part of the lesson, is the short. No, this is one. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I'm perfectly safe. So try to feel safety surrounding you. This is what we're going to do now. Yeah, that's great. So thank you for doing that. So the last sentences that are connected to it. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I'm perfectly safe. So that's so wonderful. So love holds no grievances. So that's what I meant with cleaning the temple. So we can talk about joy and come into the experience of joy only when this is cleaned up, when you really want to get rid of it and see it disappear. And the characteristics of the teachers of God, or the miracle workers characteristics. See, when you are a miracle worker, when you are in actually, say, in the mindset of it, so to speak, then that is included. If that is not the case, you're just not doing it. Your mind is not even miracle minded. It's not even open to receive anything. So how would you know? How you recognize your own place in it by seeing that you're just not happy, and that is that's good for yourself to know. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta just do a lesson or just apply the teaching now for myself before I do anything. So with the idea of miracle work, or the idea of therapy or healing, or the idea of say teaching, it really comes down, in fact, and I go straight to the point that I actually try to make here. It's like, what you actually start to discover for yourself is that you don't know what is going to be shared, or what is necessary for the moment that you meet with your brother. You don't know what is the best for him. Like, that is really good to know when you come into a healing relationship with someone, or somebody comes to you for healing, or when you share something, if you think that you know what is necessary in the situation, you're just mistaken, and you place yourself in a position that is actually not yours. See, and that is a really freeing idea, because it is not your concern what to share. That takes away the pressure of you, that you think that you need to come up with something or bring in something or make something happen or so. That is totally the opposite of the relationship, like a therapeutic relationship that you would have in your professional setting. Most of the time you're the leader, you know more than the patient, or who knows, and you gotta act from that. You gotta keep up that image in order to be, but for you to believe in yourself, basically. So here it is totally different, and I get into that. So I was busy, say, editing today the reading of Psychotherapy, Volume 5 of the Urtext, which is going to be, say, on YouTube soon too. But see, it says it exactly in that too, and that's why I love to share this with you. See, there's no pressure for you in that relationship that you have with your brother, in a healing relationship. Like, basically, it comes down to you opening yourself up to let the relationship be transformed into a holy relationship, so that you literally receive light. Just like we meet, when you enter into this classroom and sit still with me, something is happening, something is changing. You feel immediately a communication that is just there. It's like there's light and love, and it's like, we have nothing to add to that except our joy. And that is so beautiful. So that's the same with the, say, therapeutic relationships, or the possibilities for healing when somebody comes to you, or teaching opportunities, or somebody asks you something. So then it's like, if you allow that guidance to inform you, if you allow, say, the Holy Spirit to be present in the relationship, then that's incredible progress. That's incredible progress, because you feel the load of your shoulder, that you think that you have to do something, or like make something happen and do it right or something. Like, no, you can stay completely relaxed, and you can stay completely receptive, in fact, and open, and there's no result to work to. No, it's like the other way around. It's like, no, that's going to be given. And that's what I love about being completely aware of that. And it's pretty unique, I can tell you that. It's pretty unique to have this being taught to you. And I'm really happy that I received that for myself when I was listening to it this afternoon. It's like, oh, that's so great. It's so beautiful, because there's no way that this is about making something happen, or putting pressure on you to be the greatest, or whatever competitive idea. No, this is about the interchangeable, say, functions that you have. Sometimes you're the therapist, sometimes you're the patient, sometimes, it's like that. Yeah, absolutely. So it's the function is not set as, okay, you are that and this one is that. No. So it can change. It's not, no. And there's there's a comforter, say, connecting with you in this, in your goal that you have with your brother, to have a healing relationship, to have a moment of healing together, to come to a moment of say, joining and feeling the connectedness, and inviting each other to let go of grievances, and not saying like, oh, I don't have them. No, I'm a teacher of God and I don't have grievances. It's like that would make no sense. It's like, no, it's not about building up an image of yourself that has nothing to do with the truth of who you are. You don't have to make that image. You're either that or you're not, which is great. It doesn't matter. So you get the point that I'm saying. So, but see, what I'm actually trying to say is, like, when you are keeping this completely open, when you allow this to be itself, literally, you allow the help to come to you. Where two or more are gathered, I'll be there. Where two or more are gathered in my name, I will be there. So you have great assistance. So that's a good one to realize. And that brings you joy, the relaxation of that idea, and also the comfort of, hey, I'm in a safe spot here, because this is not a doing by me. So I'm enjoying this, receiving this gift with you, and that brings me incredible joy. Like, otherwise it would not happen at that point. No, that's why it is a win-win situation for both of us, and even more than that. So that's another thing. So it's like healing works in so many different ways, and it's so beautiful to discover more and more and more about it. It's like physical presence, for instance. Like you are not physically present with me right now, even though I'm talking to you. But that's also not necessary. So it's like, it can come to you in all kinds of ways. Like, you have literally a whole, network connection, literally. You have a whole connectedness with your brother in ways that you don't understand and cannot even see. That is the beauty of this. So I have to let someone in. Let me check. Yeah, okay, wonderful. So the beauty of this is then, it is not about a one-to-one situation always. It can be different. It can be someone you never met. It can be someone who just received a smile of you. It can come to you in so many forms, and it works so well. I know that with some of us, I only have contact using WhatsApp and chatting a line or so, or a word, or somebody sees a picture that you have put on with some kind of phrase on it that you gave everything, or the beauty of that for yourself, that you share what you received for yourself. Like, that affects, in a certain sense, it is so well orchestrated. Like, there's such a perfect plan, and you're being used for that. That's good to realize too. Yeah, like, you're being used for that. So exactly in the way that you express yourself, in the way that you're available, in the way that you are aware of what is occurring for yourself. And that's also the beauty of this, fulfillment of the teacher of God, or the healer, the miracle worker, however you call it. See, these terms are a bit confusing, because it really looks like then you have that kind of role to play, which is not the case. So that's why I speak about it right now. It's like, that's absolutely totally helpful, at least to me. I always feel the release of, it's not up to me. That reminded me of my first healing that I ever did to my dear friend. He was a former student of Joel Goldsmith, and he was like with him for years and years and years, and he came up to me to ask me for healing. And I had well, how am I supposed to do that? And what are you asking me? You're the one who has this kind of experiences, and you know so much about it, and who knows? No, he wanted to enter with me into that holy relationship, into communion together, to have that together. So you can see it like that too. So then it's like the asking for help and the receiving of the help, or the giving of the help, is the same thing. That's not different. That's why it's so important to ask for help and say like, hey, I'm completely stuck here, you gotta help me out. Or I'm in so much pain, I don't know what to do with myself. See, then it becomes, there's an equality connected to it. And I really want to bring that in as an important part of the healing relationship that you have with the ones that you're with the ones that you meet, with the ones that you don't even see, but still have that happen, you know? So fulfilling your function and not holding the grievances against someone is making you joyful, is making you happy, is making you want to be gentle, like your gentleness just flows out of you when you are experiencing yourself as connected. When you slide off into, say, a solo, when you slide off into a solo, you also feel separate, and you feel attacked, even though nobody's attacking you but yourself. So returning back, applying the lesson and returning back to the connectedness again, by maybe just breathing and relaxing, like, oh my God, what was I thinking? So much better to let this go, or to forgive, and to, have a different experience of myself. That is so fulfilling. That's so great. That's so wonderful. See, then you're back in the garden, so to speak. And that's where the healing occurs. So that's where you know yourself. That's where you recognize your perfection, in fact. So that is all given through this. It's unbelievable. So let me read this part of the joy. Joy is the inevitable result. So it's on page 426 of the Manual for Teachers in the Urtext manuscripts. Joy is the inevitable result of gentleness. Gentleness means that fear is now impossible. And what could come to interfere with joy? The open hands of gentleness are always filled. The gentle have no pain. They cannot suffer. So why would they not be joyous? They are sure they are beloved and must be safe. Joy goes with gentleness as sure as grief attends attack. God's teachers trust in Him, with a capital H. And they are sure His teacher goes before them, making sure no harm can come to them. They hold His gifts and follow in His way because God's voice directs them in all things. Joy is their song of thanks, and Christ looks down on them in thanks as well. His need of them is just as great as theirs of Him. How joyous it is to share the purpose of salvation. See, you can only experience that when you're in it, when you experience it for yourself. Otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Then you're like, the words seem hollow and empty. And when you feel the touch of reality in you, when you feel the touch of light, then this becomes so inevitable, like it's just there. And also, like here's being said, that the idea of fear disappears in when you are in this, when you are experiencing joy. Fear is just gone. So that makes you feel certain, that makes you feel certain and safe, and that is so fundamental here. In that you fulfill your function, because your function basically is happiness. It's like, that's my real function, is happiness. So as I slide off into a grievance, I miss all that, and everything becomes dark for a moment. When I return back into the garden, so to speak, I feel my happiness again, and it seems like, oh my God, I really didn't know there were clouds. No, the sky is all blue, It's more like that. So that's great stuff. So I'm going to use two more characteristics because, see, they supplement each other really well. So I want to do one, and that is patience. So that's an important one too, of course. So those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. Like if you know that by applying these lessons, by really using them for yourself, by offering healing, by allowing that healing to occur to you, you become certain of the outcome. So patience is natural to the teacher of God. All he sees is certain outcome, at a time perhaps unknown as yet, but not in doubt. The time will be right, as is the answer. And this is true for everything that happens now or in the future. The past as well held no mistakes. Nothing that did not serve to benefit the world as well as him to whom it seemed to happen. Perhaps it was not understood at the time. Even so, the teacher of God is willing to reconsider all his past decisions if they are causing pain to anyone. Patience is natural to those who trust. Sure of the ultimate interpretation of all things in time, no outcome already seen or yet to come can cause him fear. So patience, so that's another interesting part of it. So it's like patience. Okay, so when you start to doubt it, let's take that as an idea. Like when you start to doubt if it ever will happen, then you're not in the garden. You're not in the place where you actually are joyous. And it's not that you have to become joyous in order to be patient, but no, it's like release the doubt about an outcome, or release the doubt that you know what is going on and that you're not certain about what's going to happen in the future. Release that in terms of hand it over to Holy Spirit and let it be changed for you. Like it will be shown to you, but when it is not of your concern. So it's like, well, if you can stay, say, in the patience, if you say allow yourself infinite patience, then you'll see that immediately it is there. So when you allow yourself patience, you also start to not look forward, like you don't look out for something in the future for it to happen, but you come back to this moment in which you can just be present for yourself, and letting go of the ideas of what you expect from the future. So that is one part of that. So the other part that's being mentioned here, I'll read the line once more, is a great one too. The past as well held no mistakes, nothing that did not serve to benefit the world as well as him to whom it seemed to happen. Perhaps it is not understood at the time. Even so, the teacher of God is willing to reconsider all his past decisions if they are causing pain to anyone. See, especially the last sentence. The teacher of God is willing to reconsider all his past decisions. So it is the essential word in the sentence is willingness. You're willing to reconsider any kind of decision that you made in the past that might hurt someone. So you might reconsider that. You're willing to reconsider it. So that's also one that is beautiful for healing, for seeing this in a whole different perspective for yourself. Like, oh, wait a minute, what I've been doing. So this situation, the situation that comes up in mind, suddenly you can allow yourself to take another look at it and say like, okay, I have no idea how to look at this, because what I've decided in the past, that was by my all that I knew about it, the best decision I could make is what I think. But maybe there's a whole different way of looking at this that I totally missed at the time. Apparently someone got hurt, and so there must be something not right about the way that I perceived it. So I can take another look at it. I'm willing to do that. So by being willing to do that, it is like it can be rewritten for you. Not that there will be a better past, no, but the way that you deal with it and place it, you have handed it over, and it could heal. That makes the difference. So then no shadows from the past are haunting you. No, it feels all at peace. You know that, say, the fundamental part in the course is really to achieve peace of mind, to achieve peace. So this is another one that is really important to come to, say, allowing this for yourself as an part of your awareness, like, oh yeah, that can be changed. It doesn't need to stay this way. Like, it's still coming up for me as a conflict in my mind, and I want to hand it over, and I'm very willing to reconsider my decision at that time. I'm not holding on to anything in that sense. See, and then as soon as that melts, as soon as that starts to release, then you're back in the joy mode, so to speak. It's like suddenly you become joyful. Suddenly you see, yeah, it's not what I thought it would be. It is all different. It's amazing how that this can heal. So you see, like, okay, the description of a teacher of God is wonderful. Like, all these characteristics are wonderful characteristics. So the wish to be there, so to speak, to allow that to be your identity, your reality for yourself, not identity, but reality for yourself, is the practice that we do, in fact. So with the tools that we got, with the lessons that we apply, you see that you can come back into the garden and see, oh, yes, I can release this, I can let this go, and allow the change to occur for myself. And demonstrate my joy to my brother just because I allowed myself to receive this gift for myself. So then you become then you start to shine the light, You start to extend this just naturally because you're active with this, applying it in the middle of the marketplace, like I said. Right in the middle of the situations where it's happening, you start to apply this for yourself, not anyone else. And in that, you include your brother. By you extending it and receiving it for yourself at the same time. So that's really great. So I love this.